One of the issues that the Secretary tried to rally the region around was to take a united front against Pyongyang. Earlier, my colleague Peter Cook spoke exclusively with Admiral Tim Keating, who heads the U.S. military operations in the Pacific. And we tried to get a sense of just how threatening the situation might be.
We're not alarmed by any of North Korea's military activity, and we're prepared to respond to any and all such activity that North Korea might pursue militarily.
So what about the internal politics there in North Korea? We've been seeing these reports about concerns about Kim Jong-il's health, perhaps a change in power, handover to the son. How is the U.S. military approaching that? What is your view on that?
This is a less precise area, but we still spend a lot of time on it. Of course, Peter, is the plans for succession, Kim Jong-il's health, the state of mind of North Korea's leadership and their citizenry, less precise than some of the military movement. But again, writ large, we have good sharing of information with the intelligence agencies and across the federal government here in the United States. And while we watch it carefully, I have no cause for direct concern this morning.
Admiral, do the North Koreans have a missile right now capable of hitting the United States?
We're not sure as to the range of any of their, the extreme range of their intercontinental ballistic missile systems. The Taepodong is the missile perhaps in question, Peter. I would put the question another way. There was no reason for anybody in the United States or any of our allies to be concerned because we have systems in place to defend against whatever the range is of that missile.
Sir, does that mean a capability to shoot a missile down, or can you get into that at all?
We have the capability to defend the United States, its citizens, and its territories, and our allies.
Sir, we've been watching the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. She's been in Asia. She's been asked about these reports of North Korea maybe sharing nuclear technology with Myanmar. How much does that worry you? How credible are those reports?
We're following the Secretary of State carefully and her statements, of course, and contributing to the statements that she's making. We watch very carefully. There's that term again, not just the United States, but all of those who signed UN 1874, and that's what we're hoping to emphasize with our allies and partners, is the spread of weapons of mass destruction out of North Korea.
Admiral Tim Keating of the Commandant, or the commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, of course. Back to Steve, and we're not going to, obviously, we're not going to try to dissect, the military books or anything like that, but things like Indonesia, just to cite an example. When's the last time you were there? I'm sure you were there at some point recently.
Probably there about 4 months ago. Stayed at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel.
Really? Wow. Talk about irony and coincidence there. Here we are, a couple weeks after a sweeping mandate. I mean, for the first time they have clarity on the democratization of the country, and that was just like an untimely reminder that the rogue elements in this world do exist. How do you budget for things? You don't budget for things like that. You can't possibly have contingency plans for every eventuality which may come to pass in this world.
Look, it's tough. Terrorism is one of those events out on the tail of every probability distribution of any economy, any company, and any markets, and you do your very best in terms of security, and you take as much precaution as you possibly can, but it's a very asymmetrical threat. One individual, if he or she is determined and willing to put their life on the line, can wreak havoc with a country, a region, or the world, and it's as tough as you are in trying to defend against it. There's no perfect antidote to this threat.
None of the geopolitics derails any of the economic theories, though, right? I mean, they don't change.
They shock economies. They shock markets, but do they bring the fundamental models and values that we believe in under serious question? I don't think so, but it certainly causes us a lot to rethink an awful lot of the structures that we put in place to try to guarantee the integrity of the systems that we all believe in, and that's been a big issue, especially since 9/11.
It was quite a the first day the market reopened after the attacks. The market went like that. Quite a testament of faith to the durability of people's kind of longer term convictions.
Well,
that,
the markets tend to do that after
intact.
almost all of these shocks. They did that in the U.S. after 9/11. They've certainly done that in other parts of the world as well. The markets want to believe that the system endures and the system is resilient and capable of coming back, and that certainly was the case. I don't think you want to make too much out of a day after type of a response. We do like to think that our institutions, our economies, our leadership infrastructure is a lot stronger than a terrorist threat.